Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Dude, I'm sorry for that, but like my shit, bro, my fucking, like goddamn YouTube app, my goddamn YouTube is like really buggy right now. Anyways,
Your name on it just by thinking about it.
let's listen to Connor Pugs as we sleep. Kid gets pranked into believing the backrooms is real. Oh my. Whoa, 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 dude, whoa. Parent reads kids search history. Okay. Yeah, we definitely had to.
It was a pretty big deal, dude. It was a pretty big deal. So anyways,
We definitely had to look at that
Behind
one.
this
Oh
family's
my
financial
god,
future
fucking
is their
ads! I swear to
advisor,
God.
helping them grow their wealth and share it across generations.
leave a like in this video for oxygen, bro. I'm not even kidding. Leave a like to breathe. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new story. So just imagine this for a second. Imagine it's a Friday night. You're chilling, relaxing. You're just having simply a good time. And all of a sudden, your mom starts screaming at you from downstairs because she wants to know why she was suggested such a terrible search result when she typed P into your search browser. And that's when you remember you forgot to use incognito mode. So while that's never personally happened to me, unfortunately, that has happened to the subscriber who submitted this story. So sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new and like stories, and let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story, we're going to call him Mike. Anyways, right, so Mike had his first sleepover with his friend Ben. And when I mean first sleepover, I mean these guys were in 4th grade. So this was the first sleepover Mike was ever allowed to have. So it was a pretty big deal, dude. It was a pretty big deal. So anyways, Ben comes over. His mom greets him at the door. She's like, "Oh, Ben, I'm so excited to see you. I'm so excited for you to come over, whatever, right, etc." And a little piece of information that is important for you guys to know is that Ben had Wi-Fi restrictions at his house. Basically, or it was like internet restrictions. What I'm trying to say is that Ben's computer was pretty limited. He couldn't just search up whatever he wanted. There was like some sort of parental blockers because Ben did have access to a computer, even though he was just in 4th grade. However, it was quite limited, as I said earlier. But anyways, right, that's just a little detail that's important for later on. But anyways, so yeah, Mike and Ben were just, they were having a pretty good time. It was cool for Mike because this is the first time he ever had a friend over. Mike and Ben both hopped on like their Wii or whatever and played Wii Sports or I don't know, something like on the terms of that. They watched one of the Star Wars movies together. They had like a really cool dinner. His mom made a popcorn for the movie. Like it was just simply a really good time. There's just absolutely no question about that. Yeah, but anyways, let's just say that eventually something went pretty wrong. So anyways, Mike was like, "All right, man, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to go to bed," because that's when like 9 o'clock was like bedtime. That's when you like had a very strict bedtime. Because man, it was 3rd grade. I think my bedtime was like 8 o'clock for a very long time, which now sounds ridiculous. I mean, I'm waking up at 8 o'clock at night now. My sleep schedule is a little better than that, but you get what I mean, right? Yeah. So, anyways, Ben's like, "All right, man, like that's pretty cool. I think we should go to bed." And another detail that's important for later on is that Mike had a family computer. Basically, right? There's a computer that was in the living room, and anyone in the family could use it. Obviously, the parents had priority because they would be doing work and taxes and other stuff along those lines. And Mike would just go on to play cool math games or Slither.io. I don't know. I don't really know what he'd do, but something along those lines, right? However, the family computer also means that anyone can access it and anyone could access it, right? And there was definitely some expectations that Mike would not do anything sus on it. But anyways, Ben was like, "Oh, like, are you going to bed now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Mike's like, "Yeah, man." And Ben's like, "All right, well, do you mind if I stay up like for 10 more minutes?" And Mike kind of looked at him like, "Why would you want to be up for 10 more minutes? Like, that sounds really specific. Like, dude, that's kind of weird." And, Ben's like, "Yeah, man, sorry. I just have too much energy right now. Like, I'm just going to stay up." And Mike's like, "Okay, well, I'll meet you up there, I guess." And yeah, so Mike, went upstairs and he got ready for bed. And he was sitting there, and about 15 or 20 minutes later, when he was sitting in bed, he heard the door open and he heard, Mike come, or Ben come in, go put down his sleeping bag and go to sleep. Nothing really that suspicious. It was definitely a little weird, but it was like nothing that bad, honestly. And so, anyways, the next day comes around, Ben's mom, or sorry, what's his name? Mike's mom makes pancakes. Things are pretty good. And, Ben leaves, and it's just Mike and his parents. And that's when this was, that was a Saturday night into Sunday morning. So now it is it is Sunday afternoon. It was, in fact, it is Sunday evening. Arguably more depressing than Monday, man. I've had this conversation with a lot of people and they agree. Dude, I don't know why, but Sunday is more depressing than Monday, even though the only reason why Sunday is depressing is because Monday's the next day. Like, it's kind of a mind frick, but I don't know, dude. Anyways, so that's when Mike is in his room. I think he's just like, I don't know, reading a book, reading like a Batman comic or something. And that's when he hears his mom basically yell like, Mike.
Whether you want to speak with a realistic Battlefield radio voice or clear up your comms with the voice enhancer, our app works with any gamer app that supports voice chat. Download Voice Mod and become whoever you want.
Mike, I need you to come down here right now. And yeah, she also said like Mike's full name. She was like, Mike Ben Avery. Let's pretend that was like his full name. And dude, whenever your parent or a parent says the full name of you or your child or like their child, you already know it's not good. No one's going to be saying, Mike Ben Avery, come over here right now. I just wanted to say you're really cool. And I appreciate all the effort you've been putting in recently. Like, dude, that just never happens, man. I don't know how else to put it, but yeah, that will never happen. It's always like, oh yeah, like you just like you're getting in huge trouble. So yeah, it turns out that that was the case, in fact, because Ben was going to get in pretty big trouble here.
Hold on, chat. I'm just changing up the story because I don't really like this. All right, hold on. Trying to find an actual great one. A spoiled rich kid gets kicked off plane.
So Clarence is talking to his mom about what they're going to do because they're going on a trip to, I don't know, Florida or something. They're going on a trip somewhere, right? And they're sitting around, they're talking about what they're going to do. And that's when this mom and her son sit down next to them. And Clarence kind of overhears the conversation. The son is complaining right now. And just to preface this son is definitely a spoiled kid. And you might be thinking, why is he a spoiled kid? Well, I mean, for the rest of this video, you'll see. But right now, the thing that he's complaining about is the present he got for his birthday. So Clarence is listening in, and the spoiled kid is like, Mom, how dare you get me the iPhone 13 and not the iPhone 13 Max? Yeah, so this kid was legitimately complaining that his mom didn't just get him the new phone, but did not get him the new phone, the big version, right? Like, dude, it's like complaining like, Mom, you only got me 258 megabyte or gigabytes instead of 512. You're the worst. Like, dude, chill out. She got you the new phone. Yeah, it's not a little bit bigger, but is there really a difference, dude? Is there really a difference? And the thing is, too, the mom was like, oh, sweetie, like, I'm sorry, that's my bad. You can't be saying that. You got to, like, tell your kid, like, no, like, you got a really good present. Chill the frick out, bro. But instead, the mom was basically enabling this. So Clarence and his mom kind of look at each other because this conversation is happening really loud. I mean, when I'm in the airport, I have my own things I want to do. Like, I'll put on music or something. But if someone sits down next to me and loudly says the most outrageous thing ever, it's not my fault that they're being loud. I'm not eavesdropping. They're yelling at me, basically. So Clarence and his mom kind of look at each other like, oh, boy. And yeah, so this kid like starts pouting. The kid literally, the spoiled kid, gives his mom the silent treatment as he goes on his new iPhone like 13, whatever. Oh no, it's a little bit smaller than the iPhone 13 Max. No. Yeah, like, dude, are you serious right now? But yeah, he goes on it, completely like ignoring kind of the irony of like, I will like try and I don't know, like I'm going to pout that you didn't give me the iPhone 13 Plus, and I will do so by going on the iPhone 13 that you got me for my birthday. Like, that is a little bit ironic, but things start to really escalate when it's finally time for them to get on the plane. So anyways, they're there, and the person who sits behind the front desk is like, all right, calling everyone who's like on flight, whatever. First like boarding group A, like you can go in. So Clarence and his mom were on boarding group B. And so the spoiled kid immediately got up and started walking. And that's when his mom's like, oh, like we're in group B. And the spoiled kid cannot believe his ears. Because guys, he's the spoiled kid. He believes that the world revolves around him. Like there cannot be a universe. It does not make sense to him that there is a freaking universe where he is not in class A. Oh good heavens, I'm in class B. I'm with the peasants. No. Yeah, so basically this kid is so upset, so utterly distraught that he is in boarding group B that, he turns to his mom. He's like, there must be a mistake. How are we in group B? We are now group B people, which like Clarence hears that. He's like, what do you mean by group B people, bro? Like, what is that? What are you implying? What are you implying as group B people, right? It's a little sus, my friend. You're venting a little bit right now. But anyways, so Clarence kind of looks at his mom again, and they look at each other. They kind of smile and smirk and roll their eyes. They're like, bro, like this spoiled kid is crazy right now. And Clarence always likes these situations because it's like, see, mom, I'm actually a really good kid. I'm a good kid in general, but look how bad I could have been. You're lucky right here. Look how lucky you are, which in all fairness, spoiled kid.
Ready to unlock Roblox digital
Bro, I
gift
hate
cards?
this when this happens. Because now I have to get up and like.
Start earning with Microsoft
Not
Rewards
sponsored.
today.
Not sponsored. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Behavior. I normally blame it 100% on the
swear to God,
parents.
I
Sometimes
swear
I'll
to
laugh
God,
at the
I'm not
spoiled
pulling up
kids for how funny
Spotify.
like they act. But at the end of the day,
download
if we're
these videos
actually
so that
looking
way
at
there's
where
no
blame should be
ads.
placed, it should normally be blame should be placed on the parents. Yeah, so anyways, eventually boarding group B is called, and the spoiled kid reluctantly is not in group A. Oh no. Yeah, so they all go up, and so just kind of like the way that the line formed itself, the spoiled kid and his mom were directly in front of where Clarence's mom were in line. So they're walking in, they scan their ticket, and then they start walking on the little tunnel thing that connects you to the plane. So they're walking in there, and they overhear the spoiled kid just moaning and just don't take that out of context. I was gonna say B wording and moaning because that's a very common expression to be of like complaining, but I decided not to say the first thing because I'm not trying to like swear too much in the channel. So I literally just ended up saying moaning. No, stop being weird. Okay, he was complaining and all that kind of stuff the entire way down as they're standing there, as they're walking into the plane, complaining about everything. It's too cold. What, my phone's at low charge. Like, dude, first of all, why are you complaining about your phone being at a low charge when that is literally in your control? Like, it is 100% your job to decide when am I going to charge my phone. Like, there were outlets in the airplane, bro, or at the airport where they were sitting. But no, like, you needed to play Subway Surfers or something, dude. I don't even know. He was complaining about literally everything. So yeah, eventually they get on the plane. And this is where the spoiled kid starts to get so bad. And remember, by the end of the story, guys, the spoiled kid will actually be thrown off the plane. Like, he will actually get him and his mom kicked off the plane, which is absolutely hilarious. But listen to how it starts. So they get on there. And if you guys have never been on a plane before, so the plane is divided up into first class seats, which are big, plush. I've never been on one, but they look pretty cool. Big, plush. You got so much leg room. In some cases, you got your own little kind of corridor or whatever. If it's a big enough plane, you might even be able to recline all the way and take a little nap, right? And then all the other seats are like economy, and they are so cramped. Like, at the end of the day, I can't really complain because, I mean, I know that the airlines aren't making like any money on like normal tickets. They're only making money on like the first class tickets. But at the end of the day, if I'm going like 7 hours, like, and I'm literally like hunched over, like, that is not a fun experience. So the spoiled kid, as he was walking on, goes to turn. He turns to his mom. He says, "Oh, which of these seats are we in?" And his mom looks at him and then looks straight ahead to imply that their seats are down that way. And the look on the spoiled kid's face is priceless. He is completely aghast that, oh my God, we're in the peasant seats? No. Yeah, so the spoiled kid does not take it well that he is not in the first class seats because he believes that he is a first class citizen and he deserves all the first class seats possible. Of course, right, bro? Of course. So yeah, the spoiled kid is not happy at all. He is big angry. He is big mad. And he starts arguing with his mom. He's like, can we just upgrade right now? Can we just get the good seats? I don't want to be in those seats, Mom. It was like a 2-hour flight, by the way, which is really not that bad. That's definitely a shorter flight. And like, look, I get it. Those are not the most comfortable seats. But can you not get over 2 hours? And also, yes, it is too late to upgrade. You're literally on the plane, dude. Huh? Like, what do you expect? So yeah, sure enough, they're on the plane, and he wants to upgrade the seats. So here's the other thing. Clarence and his mom are stuck behind them because if you guys haven't been on a plane, it is a very thin aisle. It's a one person at a time aisle type deal. So if someone stops and they're talking or complaining about not having first class seats, it's not as if you can just simply walk around them. You literally need to wait until they move or they sit down or they move forward for you to move forward. So there was kind of like a question of like, what's the big holdup? And the spoiled kid's mom is trying to like get him to keep walking, right? And she's like, look, honey, we're not in the first class seats, but we're pretty close to the front. Like, we're going to get off the plane sooner than most people. To try and just tell him that, no, they might not be first class seats, but they are still better than other peasant seats. And like the spoiled kid in his head is like, I don't want to be top of the peasants, right? I want to be in with the kings right now. And I know that those seats are not the king seats, dude. So yeah, sure enough, the spoiled kid he does something absolutely insane. You guys are not going to believe it. So basically, the spoiled kid tries to take one of the seats by force. And the thing is, at this point, basically all the first class seats had filled up. So the spoiled kid goes up to some random guys like, sir, I think you are sitting in my seat, and starts to climb over him to get into his seat forcefully. It is a nightmare. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment seat down below. My secret words are no longer that easy to comment or to guess. So yeah, comment seat if you made it this far into the video. If you want to listen on Spotify, I have an account. It's in the pinned comment down below. All these stories are re-uploaded on there. And if you're listening on Spotify, please rate the podcast 5 stars. I would love it. I'd love to get on a chart one day because that'd be super sick. And finally, if you're listening on YouTube, if you want to support the channel, the best way you can do so is to binge watch the videos. That means watch a bunch of videos in one sitting. And please let me know in the comment section down below, how many of my videos have you watched this week, today? And also, please let me know what you're doing while watching my videos. Are you playing a video game? Are you drawing something? Are you cleaning your room? Are you doing homework? I am actually super curious. It's really interesting research for me. And let's get back to it because the spoiled kid is mad crazy, bro. Yeah, so sure enough, the spoiled kid goes up to some random guy, some random business guy, right? He's like, excuse me, sir, you are actually in my seat. And if you guys haven't been on an airplane before, it's actually quite common to get in the wrong seats. Like, I flew back home and I was in the wrong seat and I just didn't even know. And someone like politely asked, like, oh, you're in my seat. I'm like, oh, my fault, bro. Like, I got you. And I got up. It's something that happens all the time. I will say in first class seats, since there's so few seats, it's less likely to happen, I would believe. Maybe it happens just as often. I don't know. I don't sit in those seats. But so the guy is like, oh, okay. He checks his phone. And as he's checking his phone, the spoiled kid starts climbing over another person to go sit in the guy's seat. So at this point, the business guy takes out his phone. He's like, no, this is the right seat. And when he looks up, because remember, he's been looking on his phone for the last 30 seconds to go find a seat. When he looks up, the spoiled kid is literally climbing over, probably like his wife or whoever's sitting next to him. And he's like, sir, excuse me. In all fairness, the spoiled kid is like 14. So it's not like some grown freaking man is climbing all over them, which wouldn't be much, which just because he's 14 doesn't excuse it. But at this point, one of the flight attendants is trying to figure out what's the whole holdup. So he walks down. He's like, sir, can you please not climb over all the other people?
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Nina just built an app.
So we can all build apps now?
I'm on lunch.
I gotta make a
I'll be in my office.
Just built an inventory tracker.
Protein calculator.
Bookshare an app.
Profesor de español.
I've got an idea for a business online, and I'll use Wix Harmony to make the website. Any site you can imagine. Famous in fur, an agency for animal petfluencers. Make the site professional, strong, sleek, and green. The wildest animal.
And the spoiled kid's like, but I want the first class seat. He's sitting in the seat that is rightfully mine. And, you know, the flight attendant's like, looks at the guy, and the guy's like, this is my seat, and shows proof. He's like, that's not your seat, sir. Like, please don't climb on the guest. And the spoiled kid's like, it might not be my seat on paper, but it is rightfully mine. So at this point, Clarence and his mom look at each other and just kind of give each other a stare of like a bro, like, what is going on right now? This may be the goofiest thing I've ever seen, dude. Because it kind of was. I'm not going to lie. So sure enough, right, Clarence and his mom are kind of like getting a little antsy because they look behind them and they see all these people waiting and kind of trying to look ahead to see, like, what's the holdup right now. And they probably think it was because of Clarence and his mom. And Clarence and his mom are trying to convey that, no, this is not our fault. We're sorry, too. We don't want to be here as well, bro. Like, trust me. We're trying to go to where we want to go to. We're trying to sit down as well. So, yeah, eventually the flight attendant is able to convince the spoiled kid to get up. And the spoiled kid eventually gets up. And the spoiled kid and his mom start walking to their seat. And the spoiled kid's mom is getting angrier and angrier. Like, if you guys remember in the beginning, like probably 20 minutes ago, at least in the story-wise, not in the video-wise, but 20 minutes ago when he was complaining about not having the iPhone Pro Max Plus 27. Oh, I don't even know, right? You know, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I didn't hear that part, like when I was getting her present. So she was like in a good mood in the beginning because, like, dude, she was probably excited to go to Florida, have a nice vacation or whatever. But now her son, the spoiled kid, is starting to cause quite a scene. Yeah, in all fairness, I'd be pretty upset as well, so I get it. So they sit down in their seats. And funny enough, you know, the spoiled kid and his mom sit kind of close to Clarence and his mom. So Clarence in his head is like, spoiled kid, you got to sit with us, the peasants now. Ha, 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 whatever, right? And you might be thinking, okay, Connor, isn't the spoiled kid supposed to get kicked off the plane? And my response is, do you think we're done yet? Do you think the spoiled kid is done being super spoiled and ridiculous? No. The spoiled kid has one last spoiled trick up his sleeve. So the spoiled kid is about to do something absolutely insane, and only something that would logically make sense to a spoiled kid himself. So the spoiled kid is so angry. He is so mad. He is just so upset with everything. So he decides that he's going to take the plane into his own hands. So people are still walking in, and the spoiled kid gets up, and his mom is like, where are you going? He says, I'll be right back, which is very like, bro, what? So he gets up, and he starts walking up to the cockpit. And, you know, Clarence looks out and is thinking to himself, why is this kid walking up to the cockpit? Like, it's like, yeah, there's a bathroom up there, but the bathroom behind us is closer because, you know, there's a plain bathroom in the front and the back. So you could have gone either way. It's like, did he not know about the bathroom behind us? Why is he going to the bathroom in front of us? And yeah, sure enough, he like walks up and he walks past the bathroom. And for some reason, the pilot cockpit door is open. Well, because, you know, they're loading up, so it doesn't really matter. And the one flight attendant was like dealing with someone else. So they didn't notice the spoiled kid push past them all. And the spoiled kid runs into the flight cockpit, right? The two pilots aren't even really paying attention. And the spoiled kid grabs the microphone. And apparently there's like a button that makes it really easy to turn on the microphone. So I don't know if you guys have been on a plane before, but if you have been, you would know that it's like, oh, like eventually the pilot goes on the microphone. It's like, hey guys, like we're going to X location. It's going to take us 2 hours and 10 minutes. There's going to be a little bit of bumps in the air. It's like, make sure to like pay attention to the instructional safety video in front of you. But this time, you know, Clarence and his mom are sitting there watching this whole thing go down. And that's when they hear on the intercom, give me up. Wait, what was it? It was, give me a first class seat immediately, or I will not let this plane go anywhere. This little bro actually decided to go into the cockpit and threaten them. I don't know what he was actually threatening, right? If he didn't get a first class seat, right? He's like, give me a first class seat or I'm going to make sure this plane stays on the ground. And I don't think dude realized how serious of like a crime he was actually committing right now, or just like how serious of an offense he was doing. In his head, he probably thought, okay, worst case scenario, someone comes up to me and is like, oh, you're being big bad. You got to go sit back in your seat. I don't think it even crossed the spoiled kid's like mind that for a second that he could be kicked off this plane. So he just keeps yelling, like, give me that, like, give me a first class seat or I'm not. And everyone's like on the plane's like, what's going on? It's like this little squeaky kid is yelling at us. Like, where's this coming from? What's going on? And that's when like the pilots who are literally sitting there are just so shocked. They're just so stunned that they let this happen for a second. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm piloting a plane, the last thing I expect is a spoiled kid to barge through and start speaking on the intercom system, demanding that he get a first class seat or else everyone was gonna like, we weren't going anywhere. It's so funny too, because this is totally a spoiled kid mentality of if I can't have it, like no one, if I can't have what I want, then no one can have any fun. But it's funny because like the spoiled kid applied what he learned in the classroom of, you know, if I can't, like they're playing tag outside, someone tags them like, this game is stupid. And then like makes everyone leave or makes the game end. Or like if he loses basketball, he just kicks the ball into like the woods or whatever. He took the mentality if I don't get what I want, no one's allowed to have fun. He took that into the real world. So he's like, if I don't get a first class seat, then this plane is going nowhere. Yeah, so here's the thing, though. In the real world, you have real-world consequences. And one of the pilots rips the thing out of his hand. It's like, son, do you know what you just did? And all the flight attendants go rushing to the cockpit, right? So they all, like, grab onto him. He's like, let me go. Just give me a first-class seat, and I'll be easy. And, yeah, so the spoiled kid's mom gets up and is like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Like, my son. And they're like, ma'am, I hate to say this to you, but, like, you and your son are not allowed on this plane anymore. You need to get off. And she's like, what do you mean we need to get off? And they're like, you need to get off the plane, like right now, like open up the overhead compartment, grab your stuff, and you need to get off this plane. And like the mom starts to like Karen out a little bit. And she's like, I paid money to go on this ticket. And just because my son caused a little bit of an issue doesn't mean we should be kicked off. And they're like, ma'am, your son threatened to ground the plane if he didn't get a first class seat. That is way beyond, like, that is definitely bounds. Like, that is definitely, like, grounds, not bounds. That's definitely ground for us to kick you guys off. So, yeah, sure enough, kicking and screaming, the Karen and the spoiled kid were escorted off the plane.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Don't just search chat. With ACE's built-in AI, you get.
How's it going, everyone? Today we have a story time of probably one of the most spoiled kids on planet Earth. You guys probably know that kid who's pretty spoiled or entitled, but take that kid, imagine him, and make him twice as worse, and that is the spoiled kid we have today. So subscribe if you're new, and let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber James, who submitted this story. So anyways, James was on a class trip. And in this class trip, they were going to a kind of like a museum type thing. It was something that they would do every single year, or at least the fourth grade would do every single year. So James and his classmates were pretty excited for this, as it was a pretty big deal. So yeah, anyways, they get onto the bus, and you already had like assigned seats just so that everyone would be organized or whatever. Because whenever you have like a really long like trek out or whatever, like it's going to be a lot of cases where the school just wants to be as organized as possible so that they don't, lose anyone. And because of this, you not only had assigned seats, but you also had an assigned buddy that you had to spend the entire time with. And because they wanted everyone to be with their buddies or whatever, just to keep people together. So Jack, the subscriber who submitted this, right, he was really hoping that, because he was really chill with the majority of people in the class. However, there's this one kid who we're going to call the spoiled kid, who is just known as being a really entitled jerk. And Jack was like, oh God, please don't put me with this kid. Whatever you do, put me with someone else and don't put me with this kid specifically. So yeah, Jack was waiting outside the bus as well with everyone else, waiting for the teachers to read out the names. And Jack is like, please don't be spoiled kid. Please don't be spoiled kid. Please don't be spoiled kid. And the teacher was like, all right, Sam and Ben, Aiden and Steve, whatever. Jack and it almost felt like there was an intentional pause. There probably wasn't, but I think it was just because Jack was so like in the mode of anticipation, really hoping that it wasn't the spoiled kid, that, you know, it almost felt like there was a pause where there wasn't. And the teacher's like, and spoiled kid. And Jack is like, how? Like, what are the odds that that's actually how it went? Like, genuinely, like, what are the odds that out of everyone possible, that is actually the freaking spoiled kid I get partnered with? Like, that is 100% my luck. Like, how is this even possible? There was like 100 kids in his class, and somehow he got partnered with the one kid that he didn't want to be partnered with. But I'm pretty sure that's like Murphy's Law, where it's like whenever yeah, something like that will always happen. And it's like, it's the one thing you don't expect to happen will always happen. So be prepared for it. But anyways, eventually they, you know, Jack is told and everyone else is told to go find your buddy. So Jack finds the spoiled kid, and, you know, the spoiled kid's like, what's up? And Jack's like, yo. And so they go on the bus and they sit down. And immediately, once they get to their seats, the first of many problems arises, because the spoiled kid is like, I want window seat. And like, the thing was, like, Jack was in front of him, so it was just easier for Jack to slide in. And it also didn't really matter. And Jack wouldn't have really cared if the spoiled kid was like, hey man, can I have the window seat? Like, that'd be totally fine, right? Who cares? But it's the way that the spoiled kid was like, give me the window seat now. Just so unnecessarily rude and aggressive, really, for just a 20-minute bus ride for who has the window versus aisle seat. Like, it was so dumb. So anyways, Jack's like, whatever. So he steps aside, and the spoiled kid like pushes him on his way to get to the seat. Like, he literally pushes him, bro. So Jack is immediately already knows that this is about to be quite something, to say the least. Like, Jack already knows that this is about to be quite the adventure he's about to go on, or the experience, I should say, because the spoiled kid is continuing to be a spoiled kid, right? He's continuing to do what spoiled kids always do. And so the kid is sitting there, and he takes out his phone. And the one thing, a pretty strong rule, was no one was allowed to have their phones. No one was even allowed to really have their phones on them. They had to be zipped away in their backpacks. And you could like turn it on so you could hear if you were getting a phone call, because, like, I don't know, maybe your parents need to contact you, maybe there's an emergency. But really what should happen is the parents contact the school, that contacts the teacher, that contacts you. But whatever, right? So the spoiled kid was on his phone playing some video game or something. And, you know, that's when he gets bored of the video game, and Jack is like talking to some of the people, right? Some of the classmates, because when you have the aisle seat on the bus, it's a lot easier. I don't know if you guys experienced this, but whenever I got the window seat, it was very difficult to talk to people, because you'd either have to turn around, which is uncomfortable, and talk to the person behind you, or you talk to the person in front of you, but they would have to turn around, and most of the time you don't want to do that. And the people that are like across from you, you're kind of like blocked by the person sitting on the aisle. So when you sit on the aisle seat when you're taking a bus, it's just so much easier to talk to a lot of people. So remember, the spoiled kid demanded that he had the window seat. Like, he demanded that he got the window seat. And so Jack was like, whatever. And he sat down the aisle seat. And Jack was like having a good time talking with people. And the spoiled kid like punches him in the arm. Doesn't like full blown like smack him in the arm, but kind of punches him in the arm to get his attention, which just like hurt a little bit and seemed super unnecessary. Like, could you literally not tap me, bro? Like, were you not like physically capable of just tapping my arm instead? So sure enough, Jack, it like turns around, he's like, yes. And the spoiled kid's like, give me the aisle seat right now. Stop hogging all the attention.
Our real-time payments accelerate liquidity and deliver funds instantly and securely across key markets in the US, Europe, Asia, and Latin America.
And Jack is like, bro, what? Like, what do you mean I'm hogging all the... Because Jack is so confused, because he remembers how intense the spoiled kid was acting, and how like intent he was on getting the window seat, that he was like super rude earlier, and still left a bad taste in Jack's mouth. And now 10 minutes later, when the spoiled kid gets bored of his video games that he wasn't even supposed to be playing, he now demands to have like the seat where he can talk to other people. So at this point, you know, Jack kind of just doesn't want to like switch seats. He's like, bro, it would be such a hassle to switch seats, and I'm not trying to stand up. They don't want us to stand up on the bus. And the spoiled kid starts punching Jack in the arm. He's like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And, you know, he's like, Jack's like, stop. What are you doing right now? And the spoiled kid's like, I'm going to make your life a living hell unless you switch seats right now. So at this point, Jack is like, oh, okay, whatever, bro. Like, I really don't care. Like, fine, dude. Sure, whatever. So Jack stands up and immediately hears Jack, sit back down. So Jack sits back down because one of the teachers in the front, because you can't be standing up while the bus is moving just in case it has to stop abruptly. You would go like you'd fall over, maybe you'd hurt yourself, just for liability's sake. So he sits back down and the spoiled kid starts punching him in the arm. He's like, bro, why do you sit down? Like, I'm trying to sit in that seat. Jack's like, dude, I was just told by the teachers that I need to sit down right now. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're going to have to climb over me. So the spoiled kid is like, fine. So Jack starts sliding in towards the window and the spoiled kid starts climbing over Jack. And the spoiled kid legitimately like falls. Like, he's trying to climb over and he loses his balance and then just falls on top of Jack. And Jack's like, dude, get off of me. And the spoiled kid's like, you get off of me, bro. Which is like, did you really just say you get off of me, bro, when you're literally sprawled on top of Jack? Like, you are on top of Jack right now. You are sprawled on top of this guy. How is he supposed to get off of you when you have him pinned down? So eventually the spoiled kid gets the aisle seat. And here's the thing. I think the spoiled kid just imagined that anybody, literally anybody, if you sit in the aisle seat, you will have people to talk to. But the thing was, most people didn't like the spoiled kid because, I don't know, he's pretty clearly a big, massive jerk, right? And it feels pretty obvious right now. So the spoiled kid, when he actually got the aisle seat, people like weren't talking with him. So the spoiled kid starts to get mad and turns over to Jack, because Jack is now just looking out the window. Jack is not talking with anyone because he's not in the aisle seat. He's looking out the window and he hears bump, 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 or he doesn't hear. He feels up like a punching against his arm. He's like, I swear to God, this kid is going to get KO'd from me if he doesn't stop it. So he turns around. He's like, what? And the spoiled kid's like, you tricked me into giving you your like window seat. Like, I want it back now. And Jack looks at him and it's like, dude, can you please just choose? It's literally, we have 5 minutes left in our drive. Like, can you not chill out for 1 freaking second, dude? And spoiled kid's like, you tricked me. Like, you were making it seem so fun in the aisle seat so that you could have my window seat. Like, I want it back. And Jack's like, dude, okay, if I give this back to you, we're not going to switch again. Like, I'm not going to switch with you again. If we switch, we're never going to switch again, okay? And the spoiled kid's like, yeah, fine, whatever. So when Jack and the spoiled kid finally switch seats, Jack gets back to sitting, right? And he sits there. And remember, now the people that are sitting in the aisle, they see that Jack is sitting there. So they're like, oh, we like this guy. So they start talking to him again. And the spoiled kid starts to get super angry. And he taps Jack again. He's like, dude, why did you trick me again? And Jack turns around and is trying to keep his rage together. Because I don't know about you, but I would be pretty angry myself as well. But Jack is like, what do you mean now? And he's like, dude, like you tricked me again. Like, we gotta switch. And Jack's like, no, I'm not gonna switch. And so the spoiled kid's like starts punching him. He's like, like, we gotta switch now. And Jack literally just clocks him in the arm as hard as possible. And the spoiled kid's like, and Jack's like, oh my God. So sure enough, the bus stops, and as the teacher gets up to take attendance, the teacher sees the spoiled kid just having a complete fit or whatever. So yeah, eventually the teacher comes over. Jack is asked like what happened, and the spoiled kid's like, Jack hit me in the arm. And the teacher's like, Jack, and so Jack was like he was beating me in the arm again and again and again. I just did it back to make him stop. And the teacher's like, well, obviously he wasn't doing it super hard to you, and you played way too hard back. No roughhousing. Apologize to the spoiled kid. And Jack is like, oh my God, I need to apologize to this kid. Dude, like, I don't think I can stomach apologizing to this kid. I just hate him so much, bro. Like, I just hate this so much, bro. Like, I can't take this anymore, dude. And so, yeah, the spoiled kid, Jack is like, sorry. The spoiled kid's like, it's okay. That's fine. I'll recover eventually. Maybe I'll have to amputate this arm, but I don't know. We'll see. And Jack is like, oh my God, I just want to beat this kid. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the teacher's like, all right, well, everyone get with your buddies and go off to the museum or whatever. So they get up, and Jack notices the spoiled kid stops crying immediately. Like, he doesn't kind of like, sometimes a kid will cry and they'll mean it. They'll actually be truly upset. but they'll slowly like stop crying. They'll cry less and less and less until they basically stop, right? This was not that. The spoiled kid was putting on an act, and Jack realized it because he literally shut off his tears and any emotion the second they got up. The second the teacher walked away, he was a totally different kid. Yeah, so tears.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it.
Is the secret word of the day. So if you made it this far into the video, comment tears down below. That'll be the secret word. I want to see how many people made it. And while you're in the comment section, check the pinned comment. There's a link to my Spotify page where you can listen to these stories on Spotify as podcasts. As well, there are 2 links to my 2 other channels that very soon I'll be posting daily on, so please subscribe to them. It will help me out. And if you're listening on Spotify, please rate 5 stars on the main page. And anyways, let's get back to it. So sure enough, the spoiled kid and Jack, they start walking into the museum. And I wasn't told exactly what type of museum this is, so let's just say that, I don't know, it's a history museum. That's a pretty common type of museum, because museums are like historical or whatever, right? Some type of like historical museum, whatever. And this was a pretty popular museum. Like a lot of people would come to go see it. So when Jack and the spoiled kid were walking in, Jack hears the spoiled kid go, "Oh my God." And Jack's like, "What?" And he turns around. And the spoiled kid looks like he just saw a freaking ghost. So Jack is actually kind of curious. He's like, "Dude, like, what is it?" He's like, "Look at all those people. What? Look at all the diseases they must have." And he like points at them, and Jack's like, what are you talking about? He's like, "The lower classes, they're everywhere." And Jack's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Yes, the lower incomes, they're all around me. I might catch their disease and be like them. I can't have that happen. Oh." And Jack's like, "Dude, shut up. Like, what are you saying?" He's like, "Don't say shut up to me. I'm worried for you too, Jack. Even though you're probably one of the poors anyways, but you might become more like them." And Jack's like, "Dude, shut up. Oh my God, please." So the spoiled kid was like, "Jack, I need you to tell me. You're around the poors all the time, and you are one as well. Will they eat me if they see me?" And Jack's like, "Dude, shut up. What are you even saying right now, bro? Huh?" And he's like, the poors, I think they want to eat me and take all my stuff." And Jack's like, "Dude, shut up." And he just like grabs the spoiled kid and drags him in. The spoiled kid's like, no, Jack, no, you're betraying me. No. Eventually they get in. I think the spoiled kid realized that the quote unquote poors are not going to eat him. And he's like, "Oh, I'm safe for now. They must think I'm one of them. Oh, gross." And Jack's like, "Dude, shut up." Oh my God. Yeah, so Jack kind of realized that being with the spoiled kid was going to suck, but like he didn't realize it was going to be this bad. Like he knew it was going to be bad, but he's like, he didn't expect it to be this bad. Like this is a whole new level of terrible. Like this is a whole new level of, oh my God, like damn, bro. Like it gets this bad? Yeah, so anyways, they're walking around the museum or whatever, and the spoiled kid starts touching something. And in the museum, you're not really allowed to touch stuff. At least in a lot of cases, there'll be signs being like, "Hey, can you please not touch the whatever exhibit?" Like you're just not supposed to. And the spoiled kid is just freaking full on gripping this thing, right? He's just like feeling it or whatever. God, don't take this out of context. He's just like, let's say it's a rock. Let's say it's a historical rock or something. He's just like feeling this historical rock or whatever, gripping the historical rock. I'm going to shut up. And anyway, so one of the people who work at the museum comes over, is like, "Hey, buddy, can you not touch it?" And the spoiled kid is like, "What do you mean I can't touch it? Like, I get that like the masses can't touch it." And he's like, "But I'm VIP." And the guy working in the museum is like, "Sorry, no one can touch it. Like, I can't really touch it either. Like, I'm not supposed to. I'm just supposed to tell people that they shouldn't be touching it, right?" And the spoiled kid's like, no, I don't think you understand. I'm actually VIP." And the guy's like, "No, I don't think you understand. Like, first of all, there is no VIP here." He's like, no, you don't understand, bro. I'm VIP. I'm VIP. I'm spoiled kid. I'm the best." And the guy's like, "Sorry, there's no VIP. That's not a thing. And also, even if you were, you would not be allowed to touch the historical things. Like, that's just not a thing. Like, we don't let anyone do that. It's like it's kind of the protect the integrity of it. If too many people touch it, it'll kind of like rub down. It won't be as like nice as it was. And also, like, if one person like touches it too hard and breaks it, like, we want to make sure that everyone can enjoy it, so please don't touch it, right? Yeah, so the spoiled kid doesn't, like Ed, like most spoiled kids, he doesn't take no for an answer very well. So the spoiled kid is like, what are you saying right now? You're saying, I can't, you're saying no? He says, you know what? Well, then, mister, I'm actually gonna take it. So the spoiled kid literally picks up the rock out of like the exhibit thing or like the museum thing and grabs onto it. Okay, so that's when the security guard's like, all right, we gotta take this seriously. So basically the security guard takes the thing out of his hand, puts it back, and says, where like your like parental figures or whatever. So Jack is like, okay. So Jack like calls over one of the teachers. The security guard explains that, you know, the spoiled kid can no longer be in the museum anymore. Like he's caused too much of a ruckus. He needs to be removed, and says like, as long as he isn't in the parts of the museum where there's actual exhibits, it's fine. So yeah, the teachers are like, oh geez, because they can't drive him back personally. So they're like, hey, can we just plop him in the gift store? And the guy's like, yeah, that's fine. And so Jack is like, okay, well, that sucks for him. Haha. And Jack's about to walk away. And the teacher's like, Jack, where are you going? And Jack's like, wait, what? And the teacher's like, yeah, Jack, I mean, you're his buddy. I'm sorry to say, but you have to stick with him at all times. And Jack's like,
Vistaprint helps bring your ideas to
Oh my
life
fucking
with
God,
easy-to-use design tools, real human support, and all the products you need at prices you can feel good about. Just think it, click it, and print it with Vistaprint.
no, dude, what? Yeah, so, yeah, unfortunately, Jack now has to stay with the spoiled kid in the gift store for like the next hour because the spoiled kid is just an idiot and can't keep his hands to himself. So Jack is walking to the store with the spoiled kid, and it's like dead silent for a second because Jack is like really upset. And the spoiled kid's like, after like a little bit, tries to break the silence. He's like, dude, can you believe them, bro? Like, that's actually so crazy, dude. I can't believe that they would like so unrightfully throw me out. Like, that's crazy, dude. Like, that's unheard of, bro. And like Jack just kind of looks at him, just kind of gives him this look. Because he's like, of course the spoiled kid would refuse to take accountability for his actions. Of course the spoiled kid would believe that actually everyone else is in the wrong and he's in the right here. Because, oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense that he would be allowed to literally pick up the things that are like on display that no one is allowed to touch and they're only allowed to see. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for him to be allowed to pick it up and mess with it and be totally fine. And Jack just kind of looks at him and gives him this look and then keeps going. The spoiled kid's like, bro, do you not agree? Like, do you not agree with me? Like, bro, what? And Jack looks at him. He's like, dude, you're going to go in one side of the store and I'm going to go in the other side of the store. Just because I have to be in the same room with you doesn't mean I have to be next to you. Doesn't mean I have to deal with you any longer. He says, you go to that side of the gift store. I will be on the other side at all times. We're in the same place, but I don't want to deal with you anymore. So Jack basically storms off, which I totally understand. I feel like if I was in this position, I'd be pretty angry too. I might just like, I don't know. I might just suck it up because I'm not the most confrontational person ever. So I might just be like, or whatever, and like just deal with it. But I totally understand why Jack wants to kind of distance himself from the spoiled kid because, yeah, I can't really blame him. The spoiled kid is not being the best right now, right? So here's the thing. I guess the spoiled kid, I mean, we all kind of know the spoiled kid's worldview is pretty messed up and it's really weird. And it's like, the spoiled kid's insane. But apparently he also believes that paying for stuff is for poor people, which, yeah, I'm going to repeat myself. Paying for items is for poor people. So, yeah, I think the spoiled kid for some reason believed that he was like, it would be totally big chillin' if he was to steal stuff from the store. That he could just pick stuff up. And since he was so VIP and like exclusive and like the best guy ever, the smartest, wealthiest, most handsome, whatever, that he would just be allowed to like just steal from the stuff from the store practically. Yeah, because basically Jack is trying to stay on the other side of the gift shop as the spoiled kid. But occasionally he'll look over to see where the spoiled kid is just to see like where he is so he can keep the most distance. And he watches as the spoiled kid picks up something and puts it in his pocket. Like, you know, when you see someone, I don't know if you've seen this, but like someone, if they want to like steal something from like a, I don't know, a thrift store or a convenience store or just like a store with a lot of like little things or whatever at the mall, they'll find something small and they'll normally just put it into their pocket, put it into their purse, whatever, right? And yeah, so the spoiled kid is doing this, but he's not okay. So some people are kind of like, will be sneaky about it. They'll take one thing, they'll take the tag off, it won't get caught, whatever, right? I mean, still, that's not a thing you should do. The repercussions could be really bad, and it's not worth it, guys. Don't do that. But the spoiled kid was literally just filling all of his pockets with all the toys and random stuff he could see. His pockets were literally bulging with merchandise and apparel. It was like top 10 dumbest criminals ever. He would be number 1 at this point. He basically was just filling his pockets to the brim. Like there were probably toys and merchandise flying out of his pockets, just falling out of his pockets, right? And like, bro was not being nonchalant at all about it. So yeah, I guess maybe someone in the store would have assumed that he was just filling his pockets to come to the front and then pay for it, and he just didn't want to hold on to it all. But eventually, like 30 minutes later, the teachers come by and be like, all right, like we're going, like Jack, where's the spoiled kid? And Jack's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, I thought he was in the store. And so sure enough, they look around and they watch as the spoiled kid is walking out of the store, pockets full of stuff, and you hear beep, 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 beep. Yeah, he sets off the detector, and these 2 security guards walk over, and they're like, son, do you have any unpaid merchandise? And the spoiled kid's like, I don't. And then like all this crap falls out of his pants. Yeah, so basically the spoiled kid starts to get taken away by these security guards. So the teacher runs over there and is like, stop. And they're like, is this your son? And they're like, no, this is my student. I thought I'd just leave him in here because he was banned from somewhere else. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what can I do to like bring him home? And they're like, well, we don't really care. Like, we were just going to like hold him somewhere till we found his parents anyways. They're like, all right, like, can you empty your pockets? And the spoiled kid, and the teacher goes through and makes sure he empties his pockets correctly, but his pockets are emptied out or whatever. And that's when like the security guard's like, all right, well, he can't really come back here, at least on a school trip on your supervision. Let his mom know about this. Like, that's really what we were just going to do. Like, this kid's obviously a kid. We're not going to like actually like, I don't know, enforce the full extent of the law on him. We just want to make sure this isn't a pattern that consists into his teen and early adulthood when it can actually affect him. And so the teacher's like, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. So they're walking out, and the teacher angrily is like yelling at the spoiled kid, like, what are you thinking? First, you try and like destroy something in the museum, and then you try and rob the museum. The spoiled kid literally has a blank face. Like, the spoiled kid legit doesn't care, which is pretty crazy. But then the teacher says one of the most insane things ever, and I don't think Jack has been more mad in his life. The teacher turns to Jack and is like, how could you let this happen? And Jack's like, what?
Picked a great name, but your voice doesn't quite match it?
We have a fix.
VoiceMod gives you over 150 lag-free, real-time voice changers and unlimited soundboards. Whether you want to speak with a realistic
Battlefield radio voice
or clear up your comms with the voice enhancer, our app works with any gamer app that supports voice chat.
Sound off with a voice that matches your main,
or assemble and deploy your best audio memes with the perfect timing. Add VoiceMod to your loadout today.
I'm Frida Pinto, and I live in Austin, Texas. I'm an actor, producer. I'm with my husband here.
I'm Cor Chan. I'm an adventure photographer, producer of fun things outside.
I think an enjoyable adventure for me is one that has a blend of many things. So, Corey loves extreme outdoor activities and adventures.
We call Austin, Texas home, and what I love about it is the sheer range of adventure packed into one place. From incredible rock climbing to miles of biking, there's endless opportunity here.
I love exploring new parks, beaches, lakes. I think we both enjoy being in nature together. We arrived at Inks and it was absolutely beautiful. And we took our kayaks out and paddled all the way till we got to this beautiful rock formation. And obviously I knew the most predictable thing was going to happen, which is Corey was going to take his shirt off and jump in the water. It was fun. He got a little bit of extra adventure in and some kind of tranquil, peaceful time in the kayaks and the water.
West of Austin is the beginning, the gateway of Texas Hill Country. This time of year, the wildflowers are some of the best in the whole region. You're always looking for a different road to drive down. A lot of times there's not any pavement to take, and you take some dirt roads. With the Telluride X Pro having the higher ground clearance, It makes it so much easier to go off-road, and any activity you throw at it, I mean, it can handle it. So adventure is definitely at the heart of this vehicle. Wow, look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think we were able to get to see views that we were not used to seeing on road. You just get to see the rolling hills, everything's in bloom. Yeah, it's really special. We enjoy having a vehicle where we can do everything. You know, we love going on adventures, and we equally love being in our city and enjoying date nights and evenings and concerts and all sorts of things. And, you know, Austin has a lot to offer. And so to be able to take our Telluride to both adventures, the city adventure and the off-road nature adventure, is something that we really appreciate about it. I feel like it's stylish for both, the best way to put it.
I actually did fall asleep, so I think I'm gonna go. See y'all. Bye.